How you doing? I'm going to show you how to set up your Hoplite Kit. Now this kit's really easy to set up and it's great for backpackers, travellers, or anyone who just wants to throw a kit in their bag. It doesn't use a ratchet, it uses mechanical advantage with carabiners, so you lose that bulk with the ratchet. There's a few components to it. We've got the tree huggers which go around the trees, and they're your anchors, and this red line is the main line that you walk on. This kit comes with 2 carabiners and 1 cam puller, and I'll show you what that does. That just helps you get a bit more tension on the line. Yeah, so this is really easy and I'm going to run through. First thing we've got to do is we've got to find some trees, and I found 2 here. About 5 to 10 metres apart is a good distance to start with. So, and what you do is you just wrap the line around the tree, and then it goes through these buckles by going underneath. Gets fed underneath, and then you just pull that tight. Pull that tight. Now, it's a good idea to use some padding for the trees. Now you can use anything, you can use cardboard, old bits of carpet, but it's a good idea just to protect the tree. So all you do is wrap that around, loosen the line up a little bit, just bring it up onto that. Very tight. So there you've got your 2 rings coming out. We'll take the other end. We'll do exactly the same. Wrapping it around. And feeding it through the bottom of these buckles. So you press the lever and through the bottom. So the line can't pull out that way. It can pull that way, but it can't pull that way. Once again, I'm just using some carpet. Okay, so now you've got your 2 anchor points set. This I've just put in a daisy chain, so you can just, all you have to do is pull that out, and it's all just undo. Okay. Make sure it's coming straight off the hose. What you want to do is you want to go about 4/5 of the distance of your line, and you want to stop there. Okay, this part here is 4/5 the length of my slack line. So what I'm going to do from this point is create a loop by folding the webbing back in on itself, and I take the fat end at the bottom and I feed that through there, holding that like that. Then what you've got to do is bring it back over the top, webbing through, turn it back and put it back over the top. Now what happens is this webbing at the top needs to spin. It basically needs to go in all nice and flat. As you bring that down, you turn it over and it looks like that. Okay, so now we're ready to start tightening. And what we have to do is we have to run this back in our hand so that we make sure that there's no twists. Then what we do is we take the rings and we feed it through the first ring. We pull that all the way through. following it. Okay, then we come back to this carabiner and we feed it in through the carabiner. Okay, keeping it nice and flat and straight. Then what we then do is take this line again, keeping it nice and flat without any twists in it. We feed it through the same ring. Only this time, what we do is we take it underneath the line that was already there. So now that line's going underneath that line. And then we take this line back to the carabiner and we do exactly the same thing. So through that same carabiner, and we go underneath that line. Now what this does is this creates a locking mechanism, so that when we start to pull the tension, it doesn't slip because it's been locked in there. Okay, so you may be able to get enough tension just like that, but this is where the second carabiner comes in. What we then do is we take this second carabiner and we do exactly the same as what we did with this carabiner, putting it in here into this line that's coming out. But this one doesn't really have to be lining up. You can just fold that over and tighten that up, because what happens with this one is this one now goes through the second ring. And now what happens is that it goes through that carabiner. What this does is this increases the amount of mechanical advantage, and you saw how hard it was to pull before, and now it's much easier. And what we can do with this carabiner is then take this line out, take this out, and move it back to the start. This is called a moving carabiner. And we just do the same. Put it through, back over the top, fold it down, get this line, feed it back through the carabiner. Now at this point, this is where you want to attach this cam puller. So you feed the end of the line through the bottom of the cam buckle, and instead of wrapping your hands around, and if you've got two people pulling, then the person behind you can't pull. But if you've got this, you can just use it like that, and then you slide that forward and you can use the tree as well. And so this way you can increase the mechanical advantage and you can get that line nice and tight.